Hello YouTube, this is SFR023 with a review of the Tokyo Marui 5.1 Hi-Capa. So I'm not sure exactly on the price of this gun because I've had it for about a year and can't remember how much I paid for it, but I'll put a link in the description to this gun as well as all the different things that I bought with it, so you can see the prices there, and I'll do an annotation of the price. But this gun has probably been the best gun that I've owned so far, and I haven't even used it that much. Based on the consistency of the gun, the accuracy, and just how far it shoots, it's a really, really good gun. Compared to my A&K SR25K, before I did modifications to that to polish the barrel, improve the consistency and everything, this gun was not only more accurate, it was more consistent than that. So this, as a pistol, is amazing. I mean, I had high hopes for this gun because I looked at a lot of reviews before I decided which green gas gun I wanted to get, and this has really lived up to them. It's an amazing pistol. So let's get on to the review aspect of it. With .2s, the gun's about 320 FPS, I want to say. I'll do a chrono test, but I'll be using .25 gram BBs. Magazine holds 35 rounds. I believe that's called double stack, but don't quote me on that. And the gun is powered through red gas, and that's something I want to say is that most people recommend you use red gas with this gun. If you look on the manufacturer's page, in the manual of the gun, and on any websites, they recommend red gas. And the reason that is because the slide here is made out of plastic, and using green gas, you can risk cracking the slide and damaging it, which I'm pretty sure is definitely going to happen if you use green gas or propane over time. But I looked online a lot and saw that a lot of people said you can run it on propane or green gas. You just run the risk of breaking the slide over time. But you get better FPS, and I decided that, and also green or propane is much cheaper, so I decided I was going to use propane. So I got a little propane adapter here. I'm not sure exactly how much it was. I believe I got this off Evike. That might be also where I got the gun, but like I said, in the description we'll have the link to everything. So I got this little adapter. I already had silicone, so all I need to do is you screw this onto the top of the propane bottle. Unscrew this here. Make sure you don't lose this seal, that's really important. And I've dropped it once or twice before in the grass, so I almost lost it. And then right in there you spray your silicone, you screw that back in, and at the bottom of the magazine you just fill it up. And that will mix the propane and silicone, and you'll basically get green gas out of it, because green gas is just propane and silicone. So yeah, this gun is a really, really good gun for the money, and I can't say anything about other green gas guns because I haven't used any, but just as a sidearm, this is really an amazing gun. I could use this as a primary if I needed to with no trouble, because the magazines with green gas, they hold 35 rounds. Well, they're going to hold 35 with any mag, but with green gas you can probably get about 45 to 50 shots out of it consistently. After that you start to lose FPS and range, but with two magazines, I mean, I can get probably about 80 consistent shots out of it before I need to go get propane. But that is the one downside of using propane, is that, well, there's more than one. If you break the slide, you gotta get a new metal slide, and then a lot of metal slides, or almost all of them, it seems you need to modify the slide and gun, which can take a few hours to get it to fit right, because I don't know if it's the tolerances or just how they're manufactured, they don't fit on the gun right. So to get it to cycle smoothly, it takes a lot of modification. But the downside of propane is if you run out on the field, you can't bring any more with you. I mean, the propane tanks are about that big around, so you can't just be running around with that in your pocket unless you have a vest or something. So the solution to that would be just have a small green gas container you can take with you and just use that to fill up on field, or use red gas. But back to the gun. So it has beaver tail safety. It's also got safety right here, which this safety, it kind of works if you don't have it pulled all the way back, but when that's locked, then it goes all the way up, and then you can't move it, and the trigger won't work, even though I've got the beaver tail down. So when both of those are done, then it can click. Magazine slide in and out pretty easy. Sometimes you gotta give the gun a little shake, they don't just fall out. But one of the downsides of this gun is kind of hard to see, but these little grips right here are very uncomfortable and they'll dig into your fingers when you're holding the gun very tight. So this I'll be replacing, but that's another upside of this gun is it's got a huge market for parts. You can replace a lot of the parts on this gun with almost no problem, with the exception of a holster. I was only able to find, I think I found a right-handed holster for this gun, and that was it. But what I got was this, which is a holster made for a different gun, but looking online, I saw like 1 or 2 people say that it worked for this gun, so I decided to go out and buy it, and it did work. Fits the gun very well, and right here on the front, this can get caught on this if you just try and pull it out straight. So it does hold the gun very well, so you have to remember to tilt the gun forward, and then it just pops out. So this holster is very nice. The downside to it is right here. You can see it hits the mag button, so I'm going to take either a drill or file and cut around that, because as of right now, whenever I have this holstered, I have it holstered without a mag, so I don't have to risk losing it. And then it's got 2 screws right here, which you can adjust how tight it fits on the gun, so the gun doesn't just fall out, which is very nice. And then it's also got this little part which you can connect to it. So that's the holster. Disassembling the gun is also very, very easy. What you do is push the gun, you can push it all the way back, and it's got a lock right here, and you can see that second mark just about right there. So you want to slide it into that mark, and you don't have to push it up, but I do just so I know that I'm exactly at that mark, and also to hold it in place. And then from this side, you can push the pin out. Try and push it out. Oh wait, I'm off the mark, aren't I? Yeah. Alright, so get right on the mark. Get this little pin out. Oh, it's kind of hard to see now with the camera in my way. Alright, so we get to that mark. Push the pin out. There we go. I always manage to make something easy look difficult when I'm on camera. And then it all slides apart into 3 different pieces. And you can see the gun is pretty simple for a very accurate and consistent gun. It doesn't really have many parts, which maybe that's why it's consistent, very few moving parts. But you'll need to do maintenance on this every so often. You'll need to go in here and spray. I use silicone oil, but I'm not sure if that's what's recommended, so before you get this, do a little research and make sure you get whatever oil you need to use to keep this lubricated, because that's very important on these guns. I'm tempted to try gearbox grease, but I'm definitely going to look that up before I do, so don't try that until you look it up, because that might be a horrible idea and wreck seals or something, so I'm going to check that. But right there you can see where it's lost a little bit of paint, so that's somewhere where it definitely needs grease applied along with these rails. And then here we have the hop-up unit. Well, we have the whole top, but right here is the hop-up unit. I don't know if it's going to focus on that, but you can see it just right in front of this little circle right here. You can kind of see the gear on there. But basically this will spin forward and backwards. You might be able to read that it says hop-up on there. Right there it says hop, but it's kind of blurry. So this will spin, and you can adjust the hop-up, so basically you need to get it adjusted before game, but once it's set, I mean, it's pretty well set. The only reason I'm going to need to set it before I do the range test is because it's been a few months since I shot this, and it's gotten a lot colder, and I think that actually does affect how BBs fly. The higher density seems to make the guns shoot a lot lower. My A&K SR25K, I had to adjust the hop-up a lot. It was only shooting about 70 feet until I adjust the hop-up. So I don't know if that was just because it's been sitting and it's got dust and everything messing up with the hop-up unit, or if the cold actually had that big of an effect on it. But yeah, that's another, I believe right here also needs grease, but I need to go online and do some research before the accuracy test to test that. And then put it back together is about the same, just basically the same thing in reverse. You start from this side, push it all the way back. Let's see if I can get it closer. All the way back until it's marker, and it pushes all the way in, and then it just slides forward. So, very simple gun to work on, and overall, fantastic gun. Like I said, the only thing I would do is change out this grip. Eventually I'm going to have to replace this slide when it breaks, but I've put about 3,000 to 4,000 rounds through this gun without any problems so far. And then that's what the sights look like. It's got a little dot for the front sight, which the front sight is not that small. This camera just kind of makes it look that small. So now we'll go to the accuracy test / range test, and using this camera I'll also do a slow motion of the blowback, because this camera I can get to shoot 720p at 120 fps, so we'll do that blowback and we can see that in 120 fps, because I'll be uploading this video in 60, so that'd be cool to see. So now we'll move to that. Alright, now I'm going to aim at the water just below the tree so you can maybe see where they're hitting. And I've gone through about 10 to 15 shots before that doing the slow motion, so that's the end of the clip. Okay, so ready for the chrono test. I refilled the magazine full of 0.25 gram BBs, as well as refilling the green gas. Sorry, not green gas, propane. Actually, I'm going to need to turn this a little bit like that. So that last one might have been a bit off, but hopefully it picked up all those. Anywhere from, it seems about 260 to 290 on average. That one fell short. So right now they're hitting right near the base. Now they're hitting it dead on. Now aim for this closer tree here. That's the empty mag. So because it's winter, I believe the magazine, the green gas, or not green gas, propane, isn't going as far. It seems about, it seems to get through the mag just about okay if the green gas is completely full. So it seems like in the cold, I would say about 25 to 30 shots accurately, probably closer to 25. And the range is much lower because I can't adjust the hop up anymore. So I believe in the cold I'll drop down to 0.2 gram BBs.